Friends, good morning. Is it I'm audible to everyone?
Yeah, you're audible.
Yes. Anyhow, we'll begin with that. In fact, I have just started, but then I think there was some technical. I'm also having along with me my assistant in fact, yesterday evening we have received late evening we have received one message from the state government stating that all the state government officers working for the administration of state of Goa shall join on iGOT Karmayogi portal. So this is one of the portal wherein, of course, all the training of DOP and other institutions are actually uploaded. And of course, every officers, those who are registering on this portal can access all type of training whichever they are intending. In fact, after the message we have received from the government today morning, actually so many calls we have received from the various angle which they are facing the hardship, either technical or some other issue as such. And therefore, there are a few issues which are also beyond our reach. And therefore, we have actually contacted Delhi team, Mission Karma Yogi team, and they have agreed, in fact, to brief all the officer for whatever queries, whatever observation, whatever hardship they are having for them. Now, for which, in fact, we are having our Rakesh Verma, Chief Operating Officer, with us. Sir, welcome.
Thank you.
Manjit, yeah, Mr. Manjit, Chief Product Officer. Mr. Henry Raj and Mr. Akshay Sharma, both are young professionals. So, of course, this is one of the initiatives state government has taken, wherein, of course, government want that all the state government officers, those who are working for the administration, shall update from time to time. Because, of course, G part, we are extending the various training, but then, of course, that may not be, we are having a continuous flow of any update, new update as such. So in order to get officers updated, this is a portal where all the new instructions, new guideline, new everything, whatever of course is coming, we can actually access from here. And this is the best platform. I think we can, definitely take the benefit, which we can actually make use in our routine administration as such. Now, to proceed with, of course, we are having all our head of department, all the IPS officer, IFS officer, IS officers, and all other service officers join for this meeting. So with this, I think without taking much time, I will now request Mr. Rakesh Verma. In fact, since we are having so many little difficulties, like having email ID only belongs to NIC, not personal ID, and opening of portal, some difficulties are there. I think on that line, if you can kindly brief, that will be very useful so that we can register on this portal. And one more thing, of course, whatever observations are there or whatever today briefing is there, that also we are having, we are recording it. So that after meeting gets over, this also recording also we are going to share it to on the group, so that if somebody is missing, because since the assembly is also going on, some officers may not be available, so they can access on that recording. So with this, I once again welcome all the participants, and of course now I hand over to Mr. Rakesh Verma, Chief Operating Officer, just to take over, please.
Thank you, sir. My name is Rakesh Verma. I'm a CEO Karmyogi Bharat. With me, my CPO, Mohanji Chakravarti, Dr. Premvada. She's going to be a Spock for Goa, giving all the support to Goa, and Henry and Akshay also on the call. So I'll not spend time on giving the slides about Mission Karmyogi. I think we already have a couple of workshops. We'll jump into the processes, what directors have spoke about. I think there are ways, just to give you an update about Mission Karmyogi and iGOT Karmyogi platform. In last 18 months, if you come to a slide on the metrics, yeah, okay. We have now 41.4 lakh users on the platform. They are coming from all the ministries in Government of India, all the states, then ULBs, other offices also. We have got more than 1 CR course completion, 1.4 crore course enrollments, and our completion rate is very high, thanks to our learners from the different departments and states. Now, what we can do, I think we have couple of processes to onboard user. One would be if a user is having a GOV or an NIC ID, it's easy. They can do in a self mode also. If they don't have a government ID, we have a process. Okay, so my colleagues will explain you. They can give you the walkthrough also. We'll also share with you couple of how-to videos. It will be very handy for our officials in Goa if they want to refer any point of time during registration, consuming courses, seeing a dashboard. They can refer back to them. With this, I'll request Dr. Priyamvada and probably Monjit. Do you want to start with the processes? Then probably we can hand over to Dr. Priyamvada and Akshay.
Yes, sure. So thank you, Rakesh. So I will quickly walk you through the process of onboarding onto the platform. So I will just request to share my screen. So all of you can share my see my screen.
Yes, I
Yes,
can
sir.
see.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Can see.
So
Yes.
this is the platform when anybody logs on to the platform for the first time. This is the actual platform that they see, where basically on the left hand side they see their own profile information and the number of courses that they are doing, what is the progress, and how much learning hours and all. Below that, they can see the courses that they have already started but not completed. So those kind of courses are there. Then the departmental level, you see how you are performing within your department in terms of the learning. So that is again, we have a gamified approach. So with every activity that you do on the platform, you earn karma points, and these karma points basically uh, lead to your leaderboard for a particular month. You have weekly claps. So basically, this is again a sort of a tool which actually encourages you to be active on the platform. In the central government, the mandate is that at least 1 hour of training a week is something that you should do on iGOT. So as iGOT is a anytime, anywhere learning platform, 1 hour of training every week can be done by every government employee. And this weekly clap is based on that entire piece. So if you spend 60 minutes um, in within a week in engaging in the platform by doing courses, taking assessments, and things like that, you get a tick on your uh, weekly clap. While if you miss any week, for example, I missed the last week, so my entire weekly clap that I accumulated went to zero. So in between, if there is a break in a week, uh, this entire board comes to zero. If it is a continuous streak, it is like just like something like the Snapchat feature. You will get how many claps every week. So every week, if you spend, and then on the right hand side you will see the courses. So this is MySpace. You see iGOT. My iGOT is basically the trainings that are mandated for your role by your department. In the center we have a concept called annual capacity building plan for every role. Every course is so the courses are curated for roles by the respective departments, and they basically appear here, which are mandated by the department to be done. So, and then there are due dates that are fixed. So, courses which are not completed within the due date show as overdue, while uh, the completed courses are shown on another tab. While there is upcoming courses, if there are any courses which are due in the next 30 days for you to complete, they will show out here. So this is the MySpace, My iGot feature, which basically helps everybody to keep a track of how what are the kind of trainings that you can do. Although the platform hosts around 1100 odd courses, but at times it gets difficult for people to decide which is the course that is right and suitable for them. So basis their competencies, basis their role, this entire feature, or if this entire strip is populated by the respective department. Now, how this is done, this is also, there is a scientific method to this. I will just show you. So every course when you see on the platform is tagged to competencies. So competencies can be of three types, can be of behavioral, functional, or domain competencies. And every competency has a theme. For example, office management is one of the theme, and within office management, the sub theme is noting and drafting official communications. So so basically, depending on the role of every individual, every role is also mapped to the kind of competencies, or I will say the designation of every individual. Every designation is mapped to different types of competencies that are required to perform the job in the right manner and fashion. And when the individual selects that designation, it actually shows them that what are the competencies that are required for the new role that they have taken, or the role that they have taken. And all this data that you do is basically captured in a form of, sorry, in a form of a passbook. So what are the kind of competencies that the individual has? All these competencies are stacked, and which are the themes and the sub themes in the particular, as I told you, behavioral, functional, and domain. All these competencies are then tagged to the individual. This also helps the individual to basically see what are the gaps that he has for a particular role, in terms of competencies or skills that he needs to acquire, and basis that the person can basically continue his learning journey on the platform. Now, after that, you have a trending for your department, trending across your department, and recently added courses. These are like individual courses as well as a set of learning paths, which we call. For example, in the central government, we have an induction training module which is called the Praram. And under Praram, we basically have different flavors of Praram. For example, you see the Karma Yogi Praram for lateral entrance, then you have Karma Yogi Praram for assistants, section officers. Okay. So depending on the role, the Praram modules are created for, and these are like curated programs. So if you see, this is a collection of courses which has 7 courses. It is more like a learning path. Okay. There are tests, and at the end of completion of all these 7 courses, you get a program level certificate also. So every course completion gives you a certificate, as well as after you have completed a set of courses within a program, you get a program level certificate also. So basically, this is the entire journey of training, learning, and then you have different other types of training. For example, you see the in-service training program, which is the in-service training program launched by the central government, DOPT specifically. These are like blended programs. So these programs are basically the physical and the a blend of physical and face-to-face training programs. So this is entirely a training management system. This has an enrollment mechanism, so you can enroll into multiple batches, and basis the approval from the respective program conducting agencies, you can basically get an enrollment into these batches. And once you are enrolled, there are basically a flavor that a set of online trainings needs to be completed before you go on to the face-to-face training. That is one. The other is, once you are going into the face-to-face training, you will be able to manage the attendance of the batch, and the assessments can be conducted online. The certificates that are getting generated, that can also be done online through the portal. Then, and the most important part, that all these face-to-face trainings, the competencies that are getting acquired by undertaking these trainings, often in the normal parlance, when we do face-to-face training, we do not keep a track of competencies that the individual is gaining out by doing these courses. They basically also get collated and saved into your learning history, as I showed you. So these are various types of program, and means you can explore more than multiple other things that the platform offers to you. But quickly coming back now, in order to kickstart how to start using this platform, I will just take you through the process of onboarding. So users on the platform have basically are onboarded basis a terminology that we use for the platform, which is called MDO, which is called the ministry, department, or organization. So every user on the platform today, these 41 lakh users that you see, are in uh, they are all tagged to a particular department, organization, or ministry. Okay, they cannot exist on the platform if they don't provide their organizational details. The reason for that is that the learning is monitored at an organization level, and all these learning plans, learning things that I showed you is also devised at organizational levels. Okay, so when you go to register, as I said, that as I think Rakesh also mentioned, there are two forms of registration. One is the one is the self registration, which is the. Any questions out here? Any questions?
In fact, we can continue and question and answer whatever are there. We can actually address at the last. I think that will be better.
Sure, sure. So, so when you open igotkarmiyogi.gov.in, you will see this page that will open in front of you. This is a public page. You can see multiple things, the number of the stats that Rakesh showed you. All these stats are available. Then there are sections in terms of some of the courses that you can see without logging on to the platform, which are our showcase courses. Then you have talks on different courses that are being posted, um, and also talks by eminent personalities that are being given on the platform. It talks about the structure and the basic hubs of the platform. Then you see a quick guide on how to register. So the registration guide and the iGOT walkthrough guide are available on this page itself as help. The social media, the posts that we do, and the responses that we get on those posts are basically given in the social hub out here. And then you see the newsroom. The newsroom basically is capturing our PIB reports, any sort of reports that basically the iGOT platform gets highlighted on. Then you have the photo gallery of different workshops that we do, that we conduct from time to time. Learner testimonials, what learners are talking about on the platform. This is the section which talks about that. And then you have the partners who are contributing content onto the platform. So one important thing, that every content and anything that you see on the platform, nothing is posted by iGOT or Karmi Yogi Bharat uh, themselves. It is basically curated and basically collected from these different organizations who can basically give their courses onto the platform, which is available for the benefit of others. uh, and then you, yeah, do you have any questions or comments? Okay. So now you see the wall of fame. Wall of fame is basically for the organizations. As I told you, organizations are onboarded onto the platform as MDOs, which is ministry, department, and organizations. So if you look at this, for example, uh, here you see which what is the performance of these organizations. So this is again basis the activity that each of these organizations are doing onto the platform, and these are bucketed in terms of the strength of these organizations. So more than 50,000 users within an organization is covered under this bucket, then 10,000 to 50,000, 1,000 to 10,000, and so on. So this is a wall of fame, and then you see the organizational partners, and below that you see our help link. So we are available. So if you face any technical issues, any issues, we are available from Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. on a video conferencing call. It is basically easy to resolve technology issues if you come onto a video conferencing call, because then you can share your screens and let us know what is the exact issue that you are facing. And you can join there, or you can basically also, what you can do is you can send an email on this email address, and you will hear back from us for support. So these are basically this is basically the entire homepage for you, and on the right hand side you will see the registration link. Now, as Rakesh was telling, there are two modes of registration onto the platform. One is the self registration, and then there is a MDO onboarding registration. Now, if you look at this, you these are six distinct five distinct fields that you have to fill, which is your name, the group that you belong to, which may be group A, B, C, D, or a contractual staff. The platform is also applicable for contractual staffs. And then a government email address. Now, the government email address is basically an email address that is issued to you by your organization. Now, the organization if it is an NIC email address, it should be the platform accepts all NIC issued email address. If it is not a NIC issued email address, then the organization or the state will have to write to us, stating us, asking us to whitelist the domain of that organization. Once, until and unless the domains are whitelisted, the email addresses from other domains which are non-issued by NIC or are non-government organizations will not be accepted, and hence you will not be able to register by self registration onto this platform using a non governmental email address like a Gmail or a Yahoo mail or any other mail. Okay. As well. But through this self registration page, you will not be able to register through a non governmental email address. Then the mobile number needs to be filled in, and then you need to select whether you are a state government or a central government employee. If you click on state, you will be able to search your organization. So, for example, if you search police, all organizations that are there under Uttar Pradesh, Telangana, which has the keyword or the word police will appear in this, and you can choose any one of them, whichever you belong to, and you can get yourself registered. Now, this is one piece. Now, in order to do this, this is another piece on the registration page that every organization who wants to get their every state or a center organization which wants to get their users onboarded first has to contact Karmiyogi Bharat to get their organizations listed onto the platform. We do not list by default all organizations onto the platform. So the creation of organizations needs to happen first before you communicate others to start registering on the platform. So this is a process. So the process is that the state government or the central government department will have to write to mission.karmiyogi at the rate gov.in, the email address that I showed you, requesting for the creation of the organizations to onboard users. Now, here is a very important thing that I would like to share with you. Normally, this is the state level hierarchies that we have seen. Just a minute. If you can see my screen, this is a state level organizational hierarchy. Okay. Now, if you want to onboard the entire state onto the platform, you will have to give us this hierarchy of organization on your platform. So normally a state is distributed into different administrative departments, and within each administrative department you have further bifurcation of departments. Under each of these departments you have offices, and under each of these offices you have sub offices. This is normally what we have seen. Normally most of the states have, you can have a separate type of hierarchy as well, but you will have to give us this hierarchical schema first in order to get the state onboarded. And each of these organizations is a distinct organization to be onboarded onto the iGOT platform individually. We create these organizations for you. You just have to give us the names of these organizations. Each of these is a distinct organization. Okay, so there may be few people who will be working in the administrative department, that is the head office. There will be few people within that who will be working in the respective departments. There will be few people. So each of these organizations will have some users. So this is the logical way of breaking of your organization, is that if there are users who can be classified into into different work streams or departments or wings or offices, they should be created or treated as distinct departments. As a thumb rule, ideally, in order to have a good monitoring mechanism for the state, you should not create an organization which has more than 1000 to 2000 users. Maximum of 2000 users should be a logical break or a creation of any organization. And after you create, users will be registering into these sub organizations, and the data will be rolled up at a state level, at administrative level, or as a department level, or a office level, or a sub office level. Okay, so the data reporting will give you a rolled up reporting, while the individual organizations will be under each of these to register the state and the organizations under the state, and give us the schema of the structure of that state, which is broken down into administrative departments and offices and sub offices like this. Once you share this, the respective SPOC, I think Priyamvada, Dr. Priyamvada is the respective SPOC for the state. She will help you in getting these organizations created onto the platform. And once you get these organizations created, you will be able to see these organizations when you search here. Okay. So Goa, under Goa, you will start seeing these organizations out here. Then a OM or a directive can be issued from the respective departments to their employees to start registering onto the platform with a step by step guide. The step by step guide is also available, and I think Dr. Priyamada can help you with the step by step guide. The step by step guide will ensure that users select the right organizations while registering onto the platform if they have a uh, if they have a email address which is available to them, which is a government issued email address. In case users do not have government issued email addresses, then there is a process of registration of these users from the backend, which is called the bulk of onboarding process. Now, onboarding process, I will explain it to you now. Is basic. Is there a
We have
question
to
out
log
here?
into that iGOT terminal system.
This mouse is not
Is there a
organic.
question?
Then mine to give.
Today we have to CSS access to register connect something.
Okay, if there are no questions, then I will move forward. But I will like to pause out here before I go on to the bulk onboarding process. If there are any questions until now, please feel free to ask.
So I just had one query regarding that onboarding process.
Hmm.
Hello,
Yes.
hello. Sir,
Yeah, I
actually,
can hear you.
I am
You
Prasad
can run
Gulwekar, Director of Public Grievances. So my department is not onboarded in the system. So that onboarding process has to be invariably done by the controlling department of the state. I think that is GAD for us, if I to understand, or should the process be moved by me for my
Okay.
department?
So ideally, for a state, it should be moved by the CM's office or the GAD department. If the CM's office appoints a nodal body, then it can be moved by them, because if we get the entire state hierarchy, it is easier for us to do the onboarding. Otherwise, the problem happens. What we have seen is that if individual departments start moving the request for onboarding, then uh, these departments get created in silos, and later on when the state starts to monitor them or register them, then there are changes that the state suggests. So it will be good that if there is a nodal body within the state who gives us the entire hierarchy of organizations, while the registration can be driven by the respective departments themselves. Okay.
Sir, another query was that since we were supposed to join today in the afternoon, so I moved to create my user ID, and randomly I created, but I was using a non-gov and .nic IDs. So I asked for request help, and my ID is for authorization, pending authorization. So will that ID be, if created with Yahoo, be able to link to the schema after being created for my
So
department?
so if you have requested for help, then the ID has not been created. There is a request that has come to us. We will evaluate the request, and normally these requests gets rejected because the Yahoo ID itself will not uh, be acceptable for a self-registration process. But
Okay, sir.
after this, I will tell you how you can register using a Yahoo ID as well. I will tell you that. I will take you through that process after this.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much.
Yes. Yes, sir. Do you have a question? Sir, your voice is a bit feeble. I'm not able to hear you clearly. Sir, your voice is very low. Can anybody on the call hear, sir, clearly?
Hello, Pachwadkar, I think your voice is not audible. Mute केला or or you can just type your query
We're
in
not
checklist.
able to hear
Check
you, sir.
box or yeah. I think we can't actually. It's not audible. I think we can just hold it. Maybe some technical issue. We can go ahead and then of course last we can actually address it.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, if there are no further questions, then I will move to the next section on how we can onboard users who do not have a government email address. Every department who get onboarded onto the On the left hand side, you will see menu options. Okay, where you will see all users, approvals, and things like that. I will take you through each one of them in detail. But when you click on all users, so you can see uh, uh, on the top right hand side there are instructions on how to use this portal. Okay, use this page. So the instructions will vary from page to page. For every page you will see note which is given, like how to create users and things like that. And on the right hand side you will see a short video which will basically guide you on the usage of this portal on this page. Okay, it is curated as per the requirement or as per the menu options of the page. Okay, so here you will see, if you just scroll down a bit below, you will see the list of the users who are registered under your MDO. You will be able to see a tag that is attached to them, which is called a non-verified and a verified user tag. Now, this is a very important feature. Now, a user may register onto your MDO, but at the end of the day, it is the responsibility of the nodal to see whether that user actually belongs to the MDO or not. At times, what happens is users may select a wrong MDO and may get registered under your MDO, while actually the user does not belong to your organization or department. So there, the nodal has the right to approve or reject a user basis the profile information that he is sharing, or he can basically tag the user as not my user. So you see not my user tag. So you can create the bucket of users who have mistakenly registered under your MDO, and you can tag them as not my MDO. The portal will take care of itself after that. It will show the user the message that you have registered under a wrong MDO and kindly select the right MDO. Those kind of things the portal automatically does. While the verification of the user is basically the designation, right designation is very important to be selected onto the profile page of the user, because basis the designation the trainings are driven. Okay, so hence the approval of the designation, the approval of the other details of the profile page that the user fills in. So the profile page has multiple other details that needs to be filled after they registered. So those kind of other details are verified by the nodal themselves. So that is one of the important features or one of the important tasks of the nodals that are appointed by the respective MDOs. Now, the nodal can also delegate powers of approvals to other people within the organization by creating MDO admins. So, the MDO nodal on the platform is called a MDO leader. The terminologies for a nodal is basically a MDO leader for the platform. The nodals delegated people by the nodal are called mm, the MDO admins, and these MDO admins can also take up the responsibility of verification of user data, tagging of users as not my users, management of the users, everything. So these kind of things can be done by the MDO admin if the MDO leader delegates or creates these roles for the different users, means delegate these roles to other users within the department. So that is one. Now, can you just show the bulk upload piece? Now, when you go to create user, you will see there is a bulk uh, method of creation of users, and there is an individual method of creation of users. So apart from the self registrations, the MDO nodals can also create users through this portal by themselves. They can create users individually, one by one. They can create users through a bulk upload format. Now the bulk upload format, the format is given on the right, and it is a CSV or uh, a Excel file that you may call it, um, uh, and it has some of the fields which are marked as mandatory, some of the fields which are marked as non-mandatory, means optional. Okay, so for example, the mobile number, group, designation, these are mandatory fields, while gender, category, okay, date of birth, mother tongue, employee ID, and things like that is a non-mandatory field. Now, in this, there is a option to do two things. One is if the state has a already running EHRMS portal, because the training data can also be fed onto the EHRMS portal, then you can seed in your existing EHRMS name and your existing uh, EHRMS IDs of the respective individuals and onboard them. And later on, this iGOT data can be linked through an API to your EHRMS portal as well, where you can have the reporting done on your EHRMS portal. Apart from that, within a department, if you have further bifurcations as sections or wings or departments, right, you can do that by using tags. The tag is basically, for example, within a department, within an MDO, if there are further bifurcations of finance, admin, and other roles, then you can basically create those tags here so as to rightly identify users and tag them to their supervisors. So MDO admins ideally can be, say, these department heads under a MDO, and the tags will basically help them tag to those respective MDO admins, and further the organization can be broken down into hierarchy of departments, wings or sections, where the respective section leader or the section heads can monitor the progress of their respective team members. So this is the tags is basically used for bifurcating the organization under different teams, and MDO admins can be a different people. Now the designation is basically not a free text field. You will have to choose the designation from the list of designations that are given here, and these designations are there. So group, gender, category, designation, these are to be chosen from the drop down and not to be entered manually into this Excel sheet. If you enter designations manually, and if they don't match the exact spelling and the case of the designations that are given in this list, it will not, means the bulk upload format will give you an error, and you will not be able to create users using bulk upload format. So wherever there are drop downs, please use drop downs to create or fill in the details of these users. Once this Excel is created, and here in the email address field, you can have a Gmail or a non-government email address also uh, added. So users who do not have government email addresses can use the bulk upload format to get themselves registered through their MDO admins or MDO nodals. Okay. Now, if you want to create different MDO admins, you can go to roles and access, and by default, every user that gets created under your MDO, they have a public as the role, while MDO leader cannot be created by the MDO leader in themselves, but further MDO admins can be created by themselves. The platform has multiple roles to manage things, and these can be delegated or allocated to different users onto the platform, and they will have special privileges to do some of the activities onto this platform. Now, in the list by is a role, basically assign this role to any of the users, show one of the users. So click on the edit button, and on the below here you will see the list of these roles. You can just put a checkbox. By default, the public checkbox will be done for every user. But if you want to give them additional roles, if you click on the checkbox, they will be given those roles to have on the platform, and they will have special rights and privileges on the platform to basically view reports, create users, approve users, manage users, as I told you. So this is basically one of the features. Now on the top right hand side, you see a home button, and beside that you see a graph. Which tells you what is the performance of your, how many users are active is given here, how much time they are spending on a daily basis at an average, uh, courses, number of courses cumulatively completed by your users from your department. All these information is given here, and then below you see the top 5 users of your department who are doing good number of courses onto the platform. So this is basically a monitoring dashboard. Apart from that, you see a section called reports on the right hand side. And as I told you, every page on this platform, you will see a good, small, concise tip for usage of this page, along with a video on the top. So all the pages will follow the same schema. The top will have the help section for that page, and then you will have a report section. Here you can download the raw reports in Excel format by user, by courses, who has done how many courses, when, and at what time. This helps in monitoring. So the reports section will help you see the performance of your users and monitor them individually from the platform itself. This is all self-service. The reports are refreshed every 24 hours. So every day in the night, the reports are refreshed. You don't get real-time reports, by the way, but it is updated for the last day. Once you download the report, you can now create your own reports. You can make your own PowerPoints for reporting to your higher officials. So the report sections is, and these reports are password protected. So when you will download, it will generate and to open the file. So the file password is given out here. You can copy the password by the icon that is just outside, which is the copy icon that you see. And when you open the file, it will ask you for a password. You can input that password to open that file and access the file. The last thing that I wanted to show you on this platform is the training plan, which is basically, as I told you, the My iGOT page or the My iGOT section. So every department can allocate courses to the users through the training plan section on the right hand side. In order to do that, it is a very simple tool. To do that, you can create ACBP. You just need to enter the plan name. Then you can select from the given list of all the courses that are there on the platform. Select the courses. You can also type the name of the course, and it will appear. There is a search section out there. And then, so as I told you, there are different types onto the platform, and then you can assign it to users. Now, in order to do that, you can do it by 3 ways. You can either assign a course or a set of courses to all the users onto the registered under your MDO, or you can do it by designation. The list of designations registered under your MDO will show out here, or you can do individually by user by selecting the individual user's name. Once you do that, you can add a time. If you go to the next, you can add a time or a deadline by which these courses are need to be completed by the user, and then you can publish it for your respective MDO. This will shall help you populate the iGOT training calendar. Now, one thing to out here, that in the page we do not files and update their profiles. They can update the designation in their profile. If you have created a training plan which is at a designation level, which is created for a particular designation, then for the users who have not updated their designation, they will not be able to see the but at a later date, if they update their, as soon as they will update their designation, feature
Yeah, in fact, I just wanted to know, in fact, from before Goa, how many organizations are actually registered on this portal? For example, there is a Goa Civil Service Office service is there. Then again, a Forest Department is there. Then Police Department is there. Then of course there are some autonomous bodies are there. There are also some corporations. There are also municipal administration where all these officers are working. So for this, first query is that actually how many organizations are registered is one, and if it is registered, then all these
Seventy-seven
or department
they have been onboarded
is it
on iGOT.
Then only you can
Yeah,
see and
77
onboard
people and
with
how many
respect to your individual and onboard all these departments on IGOT department or organization.
I just had one query now in this, going through that.
Yes, sir.
So, do not belong to one individual department, not on board so subsequently, like our department onboard cleared, keep on changing. I will in public interest. I will register myself as Director of Public Grievances. Training
Yes, sir.
will will come as Director Public Grievances. Whatever courses I will be, it will be in my department under me as a HOD. Now, after say another 6 months after I complete certain courses,
or is getting right. So of that user, and he is serving under that MDO. From where the MDO will allocate trainings which are related to your domain competencies, right? For example, if you are in the Department of Education, right, then the Department of Education will give you education oriented courses on policies of education and things like that, while the Cadre Controlling Authority may allocate courses like policy making or things like that, which are more courses. So the learning history is for a
History
particular
different from the
individual.
profile updates.
It
So
is
yeah, so
maintained for a particular individual, irrespective of whichever organization he goes. He carries forward this learning history. Okay, so so today, if you are a director, at a particular MDO, you will be doing some courses. These courses will give you credits for competencies. These competencies will keep on adding to your profile. And tomorrow, if you go to another department at a different role or a different designation, you will carry forward these competencies. Because if, for example, in that role, if you say that, say, personal effectiveness is a competency in the new role that you are allotted to, but your profile will already have that record that you did a personal effectiveness training in your previous role. So it will already have this competency, and hence it will give you only the gap in terms of the new competencies that you need to acquire, which are not a part of your learning history or a passbook. Okay. So does that answer your
Department
question?
hierarchy which is there. So, like, I am an MDO for my cadre controlling authority will be like an MDO
Yeah,
for me
you
to
will have
allocate
dual
the courses.
reportings.
Yeah, dual reporting. Yeah, so I that was not. I mean, it was not explained in that, so I was little confused about it. So that answers. But I think, sir, that hierarchy has to be clearly given to you by the
Yes.
controlling department. Otherwise, it
Yes.
may just
Until and unless that is step, and that is the reason it is the first step on onboarding. So hence the hierarchy needs to be clearly defined by the state or the respective ministry department.
So
Very clear.
as per what I have seen the records, it is just the first level hierarchy at the departmental level which is onboarded. Like I am not being able, means if there has to be any allotment done to me, then it will not be possible because that hierarchy is only at a certain level. A level above the HOD has not been onboarded. This is what I understand from the presentation and the data, sir, which you have shared.
So can you see my screen?
Uh, no, sir, just a blank screen is coming. Yeah, yes, sir. No.
So at an initial level, you give us this hierarchy. This is the arrangement of departments and organizations and sub offices at a state level. Okay. Now the cadre controlling authority is fixed. For example, for Goa civil services, there will be one cadre controlling authority. So as soon as the user selects Goa civil services, the respective cadre controlling authority will be attached to their profile attribute. This is not a hierarchical attribute, which is the cadre controlling authority. The cadre controlling authority is driven at an attribute level data, not a hierarchical level data. Whosoever is a Goa civil services, they by default will get a cadre controlling authority. Now, but this is a very important hierarchy. This is a hierarchy at which the state functions. What is that? What are the administrative departments under the state? For example, Department of Revenue, Department of Finance, Department of Education. So these are the different administrative departments. Under each department, there will be, say, the respective departments under each of them, right? So education will have school, higher, technical types of departments, and under each of these departments there will be offices, further offices, and under each of these offices there may be sub offices. So Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan is one of the office. Under the Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan there may be MD Samagra Shiksha is one, right? So the sub office level hierarchy is given. Similarly, at, say, at a Department of Revenue, under Department of Revenue you will have divisional magistrates, then you will have office of the DM, then the office of the divisional magistrate, then you will have the office of the block development officer. So this hierarchy needs to be laid out. Now, what will happen is that in the profile data of the user, so for example, I'm just giving you an example, that there is a district education officer who is registered under Department of Education. But in his profile, he selected the place of posting as a particular district. Now, the district magistrate of that particular district will get a rolled up data for all the users who have a district selected as his district, right? While the Department of Education will also get the rolled up data of this direct the DEO, the district education officer. So this is how the platform basically uh, emanates different types of interactions at different hierarchies, while few is driven at a hierarchy level, few is driven at a attribute level. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, one more query. Uh, is that any nodal department or any controlling department is registered with you from the state of Goa?
This is
No,
a
sir.
question that I may not be able
Not
to
yet,
answer.
sir.
Yeah, so
Yet not.
not
So,
yet, not yet.
not
There's a process. I think we already sent a draft MOU with the Chief Secretary Office. I think it's yet to be signed, but it's not a kind of a hindrance for the onboarding also that we can do it. But you can identify one department as a nodal department also. It can be department of
correct.
GAD, normally our nodal department in other states also. You can pick one department
Correct.
that can coordinate
Right.
or a API like you. You can also just become a
Right.
department.
We will create the nodals for each of these MDOs. Okay, but that can basically that is not a hindrance on registration. But the problem is people will get registered, but you will not be able to monitor it until and unless you have a nodal nominated from the MDO.
Yeah. So I think just to
Right.
add mono here, I think that we can do in two parts, but there's a guidance from our senior officials. So we can do HOD onboarding. So I'm assuming HOD would be very few in numbers, okay? And they all have a GOV IDs or NIC IDs.
Correct.
Correct. So they can do by a self mode also. But for the larger purpose, for onboarding the entire officials on iGOT, I think we have to follow a process. As Monu has also mentioned, I think we have to go first the hierarchy level, then only we can go for the bulk uploading of Go officials.
So, okay, I think this we have noted, and we'll definitely, come with the communication with your organization.
Sure. I see Regina raised his hand. Regina and Ajit. You're on mute. Please unmute yourself.
Hello, can you hear me?
No. Yes,
Hello?
I can.
Yeah, unmuted.
We can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, so I'm from Directorate of Skill Development, Goa. Our director, Mr. Gaonkar, he doesn't have a NIC email ID.
Mhm.
So, what is the alternate way to register?
So, as Monu has explained, I think there's a process of bulk uploading.
Bulk upload, yes, I've heard
Bulk
that.
uploading where the nodal person can give an access from iGOT and they can start uploading their own people. But since if there's a one person need to be onboarded as exceptional, we can do it on priority. For my team, Dr.
Okay,
Priyambada,
Because
Dr. Premda,
our director is the head of the department,
got
right?
it, got it, got it, got it, got it. Dr. Premda, if you could mention your phone number and your email
Yeah,
ID in
yeah.
the chat
Sure,
box.
sure. Sure,
That
sir.
would be
I mentioned my
Yeah.
phone number and email ID over the box. You can
okay. And
always
what we
reach
can do
out to me.
is, yeah.
Okay?
So Premda, what we can do, at least we can prioritize the HOD onboarding on iGOT,
Sure,
okay,
sir.
and then we
Okay.
can work with the nodal person to perform.
Okay, sir.
Also, ma'am, if there is any particular domain that sir may be using, so you can whitelist that domain also.
Mr. Taha, I think, has raised his hand.
Yes, good afternoon. I am the Secretary, Office of the State Commissioner for Persons with Disabilities, Taha. Now, when I'm registering, I'm not able to find the Office of the State Commissioner for Persons with Disabilities in the list of the departments.
Yeah, because the
So,
department, as I explained, sir, the department is not yet onboarded. So this is what I explained, that first the
okay.
state will have to give us the list of department along with the hierarchy, right?
Hmm.
But
Okay.
and then we will create the list of these departments onto the platform, and then you will
Okay.
be able to register.
Because I'm the HOD here, so will not be able to register till the time the department reflects, you're saying.
Yeah, the state will have to give us that communication.
Sure.
So, Mr. Taha, I think Dr. Premda can prioritize this. So, she's saying
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
email ID
Sure,
also.
sir.
For the few
Sure.
officials on the priority, we can do it on a fast track
Please.
basis.
So if you do you want me to share the details on the chat here, or how do I go
No,
about?
I think we are sharing the email ID of Dr. Premda in the chat box
Yes,
here.
sir.
If you can just
Sir,
Is
send
I
our
the
have
email
shared my
to us.
email ID, so you can
on the
share an
chat?
email on that. Yeah. Yeah.
I will extract it from the chat, and you'll get an email right away from me.
Sure, sure, sure.
Thank you, dear. Thanks. Thanks.
Dr. Premda, also share a couple of how-to videos. It's a very short 2 minutes video on
Sure.
how to onboard, how to consume a course on iGOT. I think it would be very handy. You can
Okay,
share
okay.
with the ATI office, and then they can circulate to everyone. Yeah.
Sure, sir. I'll do that.
So thank you very much, everyone. I think it's a first call. If we can do more calls also, but as Monu has mentioned, I think it's a process. I think to make sure
I think
keep
Mr.
going forward.
Desai is also has his hand
Sure,
raised. So
sure.
if
Mr. Desai.
he has any questions, so
Sir, good afternoon. Hello.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. You're audible. Please go ahead. Yeah.
Sir, am I audible, sir?
Yes.
yes.
Sir, when we are speaking about the department specific or HOD specific, some of the officers are transferable. They are transferable jobs. So in these cases, the transposition of the officers from one department to other department, if it is in between, how we will deal with that?
So I showed you, sir, that there is a process of transferring users on the iGOT platform. You have to just raise a transfer request, and the user will be transferred from one department to the other department with all the
Uh,
history of training going carrying forward.
that is the main question. That what about the courses what he have completed and what?
It will be carried
Uh,
forward.
okay,
It will
that is the
be
main issue.
carried forward.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. If there's no more question, I think Dr. Sir, can we close the call?
Is anybody is having any observation or anything to be asked?
Just one last question, sir. I have. One was regarding that CADA, sir. You said that it will be taken care of in the portal. But when I go to register, it only distinguishes central and state. Now, if I say state, then again it goes back to that HOD level kind of a thing, that hierarchy. So, how the means when I register, how the platform will able to distinguish me as a civil service cadre or a departmental cadre officer?
So when you will register, sir, the
Doria,
registration is one part where we just ask you for five uh, fields, which is the name, group, email, phone number, and the MDO name. While after you register, as I showed you, I was showing the profile page, right? It has multiple other fields. There we take this detail. You it also does not give you the designation in the registration page. You don't see the designation field also, right? So the designation field and everything is filled later on by the user after he registers onto the platform. We
Okay,
did not
sir. I
want
think
a long
I think
form
it was.
to user at the initial, because it would have been tiresome for him to get the first registration done. After he registers, he will be able to update his profile with all this information.
Sir, I assume that during that time when you were explaining, I had some network issue, so it just skipped it, sir. Thank you, sir.
So I hope anyhow the first call we have already taken as per the instructions. I think wherever it is possible, do register it. And of course, the exercise which has been actually recommended will immediately take up with the, of course, personal department to designate as a nodal department as such. So once it is designated, then of course, from all departments, all the hierarchies will be called, and that will be shared with the Karma Yogi organization. Once it is, I think then you will be in the position to register it, and later on the officers at the state level can register themselves in whole. If need, I think we'll also try to organize one small session, physical session, very shortly. So I think that will also help for all the department, and of course whoever will be missing, so that whatever, especially the transfer of score, which is very important, because many of the officers are transferring from one office to other office, one department to other department. So this is one of the important area I think we need not to cover. So to cover it, let us will also shortly organize one day or a half day session as such. That is a physical one, and of course, very shortly after this, we'll share this recording. So if any gaps are there where we can actually tap, you can just tap that gap, and of course you can register by today, for whom it is wherever possible. And at last, I think yes, this is what I mean to say, and maybe there is a possibility, having after registration, one has to go for this all training, whichever will be there, useful for all the organization as an individual, and there may be a move from the state government hereinafter, which I am not, in fact, so sure, but there may be possibility where whatever score we are gaining at the end of the year, maybe at the end of the 31st March, something like that, that score maybe subsequently go to in our APR while we are writing the APRs, so that one will come to know that our government will come to know that yes, how many after registration, how many training officer or whoever is there have actually undergone, and how much they have spent the time, and how much they have actually updated. I think this is what from our side. So I think with this we should end up. uh, Thank you all the participants, and especially I thanks Mr. Rakesh Verma, Chief Operating Officer. I also thanks Manojit, Chief Product Officer, and both young professionals and all the participants. In fact, those who joined for this today's sub briefing. So with this, I think we'll end up. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.